Hello and welcome again. So, in the last session, we have completed with the computer vision topic, and we have seen the deep learning algorithms to train the CNN model. And also, we have discussed three important steps and basically three important ways to train the CNN model and to classify the images. Number one, we have discussed training from the scratch, where we started with writing some simple code, and that was considering the CNN architecture. So, convolution layer, ReLU layer, pooling, fully connected neural networks, flattening layer, and softmax functions. So, everything we added inside the code, and we created our own architecture for the CNN, and we trained our model, and also we tested our model. In that case, we have seen that if I run my code for five times or five number of epochs, then we got accuracy around 65%. But at the same time, the loss was very high. It was more than one, so it was more than 100%. So that was the problem using the learning from the scratch approach. So as far as the learning from scratch is concerned, we need a large number of images, probably 1,000 images per category, and that was truly not possible in our case. We were having only two to 300 number of images to train the model as far as the brain tumor detection is concerned. Now we find out another solution to solve this problem, and that was the programming less platform, that was teachable machine platform. And on the teachable machine, we have seen we actually started loading our dataset on the teachable machine, and that was the programming less platform by the Google. And we uploaded so many images over there, and we train our model. So in that case, we got accuracy around 80%. That was very good, and the loss was again significant. It was around 30 to 40%. So that was significant loss, but still our network performed very well, and we got high accuracy network. And the third option that we tried, that was transfer learning. So by the use of transfer learning, it's possible to transfer the learning of another network. For example, we used VGG16 in that case, and in that case we achieved accuracy around more than 90%, even for the five number of epochs. So at the end of fifth epoch, we got the accuracy around 90%, and that was very much interesting thing. And the loss was also significantly less. It was around 0.102, let's say 0.15, so 10 to 15%. So that was very much interesting. Now, in this lecture, we are going to start with new module, and that is the web development for the machine learning projects. So once we will complete this module, we will try to implement some projects, and all these projects will take help of or will be using the web GUI. So right now, whatever programs we have executed, they were running on the command prompt, and their output was available on the that terminal window, that black color terminal window of Visual Studio Code, or sometimes you can see the graphical representation of it. But truly, it was a command line interface. So you will just have to type some commands, and that commands were getting executed. You were running the codes, and you were getting the output on that in the printed form on the terminal window. But we haven't designed any kind of GUI for that. For example, when I say GUI, that means by clicking a button, I will be able to upload the image, or there will be some input fields, or some let's say text fields, where I will type something, and if I submit that, I will be getting results over there. For example, in car sales prediction, so if I put the salary and let's say age of the particular person, then we used to get whether that particular person is going to purchase the car or not. But that we used to get on the command prompt, or on that terminal window. It was command line interface, but we haven't tried executing our codes. Like we haven't tried any kind of GUI, graphical user interface. So this is all about designing the user interface for our project. Now, what is user interface? Now, as far as the user interface is concerned, there can be two types of user interfaces. One is command line user interface, and another one is the graphical user interface. So objective for this session and upcoming few sessions is to design a graphical user interface or GUI for our project. Now, in order to design a GUI, there can be two options. Either you can go with the web app or web application, where that application will run through browser, or you may have a desktop application which will not take help of any browser, or it will work on the desktop. But obviously the web applications are much preferred, as they will run in the web, as well as they will be operated on mobile phones. So whatever applications we are going to design, so whatever machine learning problem or the deep learning problem, or maybe AI system or the AI problem statement that we are going to solve, will work in all the platforms. It will work on the computers, it will work in the laptops, it will work in the tablets, it will even work in the mobile phones, maybe the Android mobile phone or in iOS mobile phone. So that's the agenda for this module, to design a system which will work on across all the platforms, so that as per the desktop application is concerned, it will work only in the computers. So that's the biggest disadvantage of the desktop application, but our objective is to have an application which will work across all the platforms. So next time, whenever you will have a CT scan or MRI scan of somebody's brain, then you can simply click a photograph from your mobile phone, and you can upload that photograph to your application right from your mobile phone, and your system will be telling you whether this is the having brain tumor or not. Even if in the farmers can have this kind of system, they can click the photograph from their mobile phone, and they will capture the photos of their plant leaf, and our system, our machine learning product or our machine learning project will predict the disease occurred to that plant leaf, and accordingly will suggest some pesticides. So such kind of systems can be possible. Now, in that way, the objective is to design a web application through some framework of Python, and for that purpose we need a Flask framework. Actually, there are two different approaches: the Django framework and the Flask framework. As the Flask is a lightweight and easy to learn, so we'll consider this framework. And as the objective is not to deep dive in the web development technology, but to have some GUI or have some application of web development technology in our project, that's the objective for this AI ML project. So for that purpose, we'll be considering a very simple, straightforward, and easy to learn Python framework for the web development, which is the Flask framework. Now, as usual, I have created a folder, empty folder this time, by the name Flask tutorial. And now I will be creating a very first web application using Python, and that will be hosted on the local host. That means on the local server, and that can also be hosted, sorry, it can also be operated from your mobile phone. So in your mobile phone, if you put the address of your server, then you will be able to see, or you will be able to load your web application, or you will be able to operate your web application, web GUI, or Python system from your mobile phone. So now you can have complete machine learning functionality right in the mobile phone. So for now, I'll be creating a very first app. So I will name it as basic app.py. By this name, I'll be creating a Python file, and let me zoom in this area. So now very first thing is that to load the library, and this time we are going to use the Flask library, or you can write here loading the packages and the libraries that you need. And the very first is from Flask import Flask. So this is, you can see here, this is the class in the Flask library or the package, and it has shown something that's all this stuff about this class, and everything, the some help is there. So we'll be importing this Flask. This F is capital, and this f is small. So always remember this thing. So this f is capital. And let's run to check whether our library is there. Yes, I'm having the library. Otherwise, you will have to install pip install Flask double equal to 1.1.2. Okay, this is the version that I'm using. So you also try with this version. Pip install Flask double equal to 1.1.2, and this is the requirement which is already satisfied. I'm already having the Flask 1.1.2, so this library is already there, so no worries with this particular thing. So now the Flask is there, and we are ready to develop our first web application. Now, whatever application you are going to develop, you should give some name to that application. So I will give name as app. You may give any other name, and using this you will be able to create a web application. So app equal to Flask, and this will be a web application. And then there is a special variable called double underscore name double underscore. Now, what is this name? So whenever you are going to run your app, this is the special variable in Python. Okay, so this name variable is the special variable in Python. So whenever you will run this file from this here, so if I run this file, the this particular name variable's name will be main. So value of this name variable will be equal to main when this file is running from here only. Okay, so it is running on its own. But if this file is imported by some another file and from there we are running this file, in that case the value of this name will be equal to basic app. Okay, so that's the meaning. So this we are going to use in future. तो बेसिक थिंग क्या है कि अगर ये basic डॉट ऐप डॉट पी वाई को अगर मैंने इसको रन किया यहाँ से, तो ये जो नेम जो स्पेशल वेरिएबल होता है पाइथन के अंदर, इसकी वैल्यू होगी मेन. ओके, इट्स वैल्यू विल बी डबल अंडरस्कोर मेन डबल अंडरस्कोर. उसका एक स्ट्रिंग वेरिएबल है, एक वेरिएबल स्ट्रिंग टाइप का है, जिसके अंदर कुछ ना कुछ तो वैल्यू आएगा, कुछ ना कुछ तो डेटा स्टोर होगा. तो अगर ये फाइल यहाँ से मैं रन करूँगा, मतलब ये बेसिक ऐप को ही मैं रन करूँगा, तो इन दैट केस इसकी जो वैल्यू है, इसका जो स्ट्रिंग वेरिएबल है, इसकी जो वैल्यू होगी वो होगी डबल अंडरस्कोर मेन डबल अंडरस्कोर. सो इट्स वैल्यू विल बी डबल अंडरस्कोर मेन डबल अंडरस्कोर. तो ये एक वैल्यू है, स्ट्रिंग है, वो इसकी वैल्यू होगी किसकी, नेम की. अगर मैं बेसिक ऐप डॉट पी वाई को यहाँ से रन करता हूँ, मतलब उसको रन करता हूँ. लेकिन अगर मैंने कुछ और एक फाइल बनाई, लेट से एक्स वाई जेड डॉट पी वाई, और एक्स वाई जेड डॉट पी वाई के अंदर मैंने लिखा इम्पोर्ट बेसिक ऐप, तो इसका मतलब क्या होगा कि ये बेसिक ऐप जो फाइल है उसके अंदर इंपोर्ट की जा रही है. सो वाइल इंपोर्टिंग इट विल रन. सो इन दैट केस मेन इसका जो वैल्यू है वो होगा बेसिक ऐप. ओके, तो इसकी जो वैल्यू है वो होगी, इंस्टेड ऑफ मेन इट विल बी बेसिक ऐप, इस वेरिएबल की वैल्यू होगी. सो ये इसलिए किया जाता है. तो बाय यूजिंग दिस नेम वेरिएबल आई कैन चेक वेदर कि ये जो फाइल है ये खुद से रन हो रही है या फिर कोई और स्क्रिप्ट इसको रन कर रही है. अगर ये फाइल खुद से रन हो रही है तो इसका वैल्यू होगा मेन, और अगर ये कोई और फाइल, कोई और पाइथन का कोड इस फाइल को रन कर रहा है, तो नेम की वैल्यू होगी इस फाइल का जो भी टाइटल है. इसका टाइटल अभी बेसिक ऐप है, अगर कुछ और टाइटल होता तो वो वहां पे होता, इस तरह से. नाउ यहाँ पे नेक्स्ट स्टेप इज टू क्रिएटिंग द रूट और अ वेब पेज. अब एक पेज क्रिएट करना है. तो to add a page, we should use @app.root, and then you should provide some address or the path to that root. So let's say only slash I'm providing over here, and then I'll be sorry, it should not be a colon. It should be then you write a function over here. So मैं यहाँ पे एक होम पेज करके एक फंक्शन लिखता हूँ, and then यहाँ पे हम करेंगे कुछ ना कुछ तो रिटर्न, and then you can write here, so hello, this is my first Flask website. Okay, दैट्स इट। तो यहाँ पे हम क्या लिखेंगे, एट दैट ऐप डॉट रूट स्लैश, सो दैट मीन्स पेज का नाम, यहाँ पे स्लैश के बाद मैं जो कुछ भी लिखूंगा दैट विल बी द नेम टू दैट पेज, और दैट विल बी ए रूट, अलग अलग रूट्स होंगे, so that's called as the root of that particular page. So this time I'm giving just slash, so I'm not giving any kind of name, so there will be only one web page. हम ये कंसिडर करके चल रहे हैं कि अपनी जो वेबसाइट बनेगी उसको एक ही पेज होगा, वेबसाइट या वेब जीयूआई उसको बोल सकते हो, इट विल बी हैविंग ओनली वन पेज। तो वन पेज वेबसाइट, एक सिंगल पेज है वहाँ पे। इसका मतलब क्या है ना कि जैसे हम कोई भी वेबसाइट पकड़ के चलेंगे, लेट्स से facebook.com, google.com और एनीथिंग, इट विल बी हैविंग मल्टीपल पेजेस। मतलब facebook.com/home, facebook.com/about us, facebook.com/contact us, like that. So here we are considering xyz.com slash only, no page name slash home slash contact us, no such thing, only xyz.com, right, slash. So in that case it will be opening one page. तो अगर आप facebook.com पुट करोगे ब्राउजर के अंदर तो कुछ ना कुछ तो ओपन करेगा ना, दैट मीन्स होम पेज ओपन करेगा। तो स्लैश के बाद होम लिखना जरूरी नहीं है इन दैट केस, सो इट विल बी अ होम पेज। तो ये जो होम है ये फंक्शन है, तो जब भी आप इस रूट पे होंगे इसके अंदर का जो भी फंक्शन है वो एग्जीक्यूट किया जाएगा। नाउ फॉर नाउ inside it there is a function called home, and this function is returning some string, so it is returning this, hello this is my first Flask website। so हमने function तो already देख लिए हैं while discussing the functions and all those stuff, so this is some sort of a function। now it is returning something, it is returning some value, so you can put a bracket also here, return and bracket, that's also fine, without bracket it's also fine। so it is returning some value, and this is string value it is returning, and this value will be displayed on our web page. And now we will have to run our website. In order to run, we will write here if, we will check name equals to double underscore, it should be in single inverted comma, main double underscore, then only you run this website. Okay, and then you simply write app.run, that's it। okay, now ये हमारा एक सिंपल सा वेबसाइट अभी बन चुका है जो रन होगा, एंड रन होने के बाद उस वेबसाइट पे बाकी कुछ नहीं है, ज़्यादा कुछ ग्राफिक्स नहीं है, कलर्स वगैरह ये सारी चीज़ें अभी तक हमने यहाँ पे की नहीं है, एंड दैट विल बी डूइंग इन फ्यूचर। उसका स्टाइलिंग वगैरह थोड़ा बहुत हम देखेंगे वो, बट यहाँ पे एक सिंपल सी वेबसाइट और वेब एप्लीकेशन क्रिएट हो चुका है, दैट विल बी रनिंग ऑन समर, वी आर गोइंग टू होस्ट इट ऑन द लोकल सर्वर, हम लोकल सर्वर पे होस्ट करेंगे। नो अभी के लिए हम लोकल सर्वर पे होस्ट करेंगे, and in future we will discuss how this can be hosted on cloud also। okay, तो हम एक cloud platform पे भी उसको host करेंगे बाद में। right now we will be hosting on local server only। तो बाद में हम एक ट्रायल क्लाउड पे होस्टिंग करेंगे, डिप्लॉय करेंगे क्लाउड पे, एंड उस क्लाउड के थ्रू आप उसको एक्सेस कर पाओगे, and in that case it will have a global coverage, anywhere in the world you can access your website। and now as we are hosting on our local server or on computer only, or the local host what we can call it as, so now it will be available on only your computer and any other computer which is connected to the same Wi-Fi network or any other mobile phone। तो अगर आपने मोबाइल का हॉटस्पॉट चालू करके या फिर आपके राउटर को जितने भी डिवाइसेस कनेक्टेड है उन सारे डिवाइसेस के अंदर आपकी ये वेबसाइट अभी जो हमने बनाई है वो ओपन होगी। वो मोबाइल फ़ोन हो सकता है, टैबलेट हो सकता है, या फिर आपका कंप्यूटर हो सकता है, वो वहाँ पे ओपन होगी। वो कैसे ओपन करना है दैट आई विल टेल यू। सो बाय रनिंग दिस कोड, अ सिंपल कोड, इमीडिएटली यहाँ पे आ गया कि दिस इज रनिंग ऑन एच टी टी पी दिस कोलन 127.0.0.1:5000। तो ये 127.0.0.1 ये होता है लोकल सर्वर का आईपी एड्रेस। सो दिस इज द आईपी एड्रेस ऑफ लोकल सर्वर। सो इफ यू हैव स्टडीड इन द कंप्यूटर नेटवर्किंग, so you know the what is local server, so this is the IP address of local server, that means this is hosted on the local server, or that means it is hosted on your computer only, on your computer, on your laptop, this website is now hosted, and this is the port number, colon 5000 is the port number, on that port your website is now actually, or whatever transactions will happen through this port, Now port ka in computer networking, the port is nothing but the media where some transaction or some sort of communication will happen. जस्ट लाइक पोर्ट्स इन ओशंस एंड सी पोर्ट होता है ना, जहाँ पे जो भी चीज़ें हैं उनका ट्रांजैक्शन होता है, एंड सम शिप्स कम टू पोर्ट एंड दे जस्ट एक्सचेंज द मटेरियल्स, तो वो पोर्ट होता है जहाँ पे ट्रांजैक्शन होती है. तो इन कंप्यूटर इंजीनियरिंग or what we call it's computer networks, so every service that the computer system is operating, maybe it can be UDP service or TCP service or any other protocol, computer assigns a unique port number to that, and on that particular port वो सारी सर्विसेज रन होती है. तो हर एक सर्विस के लिए अलग अलग पोर्ट होता है. जैसे कि एस एम टी पी सर्विस है, वो प्रोटोकॉल है, तो उसके लिए अलग पोर्ट होता है, स्टैंडर्ड पोर्ट होता है. So for the Flask service, we will be using this 5000 as a port. This is the default port which on which the US server will open. Now इसने इंडिकेट किया है कि आपको अभी ब्राउजर में जाके ये URL हिट करना है. अगर आप ये URL हिट करोगे, so we will be getting our first web application or our first website hosted on local server. अभी तक अपने वेबसाइट में कुछ भी नहीं है, अभी तो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहा है, जस्ट वेबसाइट. उसमें सिर्फ एक ही लाइन का थिंग वहाँ पे डिस्प्ले करेगी, बाकी वहाँ पे कुछ है नहीं, और उसका एक ही पेज है, सिंगल पेज का वेबसाइट है. और दैट वेबसाइट इज नाउ लाइव on the local server, and now we can go in the browser and we can type localhost colon 5000, that's the IP address. Or if you want, you can just type 127.0.0.1 colon 5000. That's also fine. But now I will, as the 127.0.0.1 is nothing but the local host. So localhost colon 5000. That's what I will type. And once I hit that, I'll be getting my website live over here. And hello, this is my first Flask website. That's what I can see over here. Okay. So likewise, I will be getting everything on my server. Now, one problem with this website is, now if I change here, let's say instead of this website, or this is instead of this is hello, um, I am on home page. Okay, so now I have made some changes in my code. Still, the server is live, it is running, it has not stopped running, and now I have made some changes in my code. So in this particular case, if I refresh, still nothing is changed. Everything is previous case only. Even if I close this one and if I type again localhost 5000, I'm getting the previous data. Hello, this is my first Flask website. That's what I'm getting over here. So that's the problem if we run your app like this. Okay, if you run your app like this, you will notice this is what we are getting. But if you want that by making changes, so in that case what you will have to do, you will have to stop this server, and the server can be stopped by control plus C, or you can delete the Python terminal from here. In that case the server will be stopped, and again you will have to rerun the server. Okay, if you want to reflect the changes whatever you are doing in your code to your website, in that case you will have to stop the server, and then you have to rerun the server. In that case it will happen. So that's the problem if we run this file like this. But if you mention here, see here, debug mode is off right now. Okay, by default the debug mode is off. So what we can do, we can switch on the debug mode, and once we can turn on the debug, so it will be great thing. And now I'll be turning on the debug mode true. Now, once it is there, once the debug mode is true, now if you run the server again, and now I'll show you by making the changes. Now, restarting and debugger is active now. Okay, so debugger is active, and now as the debugger is active, now our website is running in the debug mode. Now, as it is running in the debug mode, so if you refresh it, now you will be getting this new data. Now it's obvious that we have stopped the server and we have restarted the server, but now what I'll do, instead of this, I'll be writing here, so anything, hello, this is my website, and you are on home page. Okay, so this is what I have written. And as soon as I will save the content, you see here detected change in this file basic.py reloading. So it will auto reload the server once the change is detected, and once you refresh over here, you will see the refreshed content or the new content over here. So always you will be keeping debug mode on. Now, how to see this website in your mobile phone? Now this is okay that it's running on the browser, and it is actually operating in our Google Chrome browser. It will also work in Mozilla Firefox and any other web browser, or in the Safari it will work. But how to operate this website in your mobile phone? Now, in order to operate this website in your mobile phone, there are two important conditions that must be satisfied. Number one, the uh, the network. The network of your mobile phone and the network of your computer has to be same. That means the mobile phone and the computer should use the same Wi-Fi network. It should be in same network. Right now, if you are using Wi-Fi network, then it should be in Wi-Fi network. If you are using LAN, then it should be in LAN network. But as you are operating in mobile phones, so obviously it will be a Wi-Fi network only, as the LAN cannot be connected to mobile phone. So in order to have this facility, your mobile phone and your computer should be at the same network. For example, you are having the college Wi-Fi, so your laptop must be connected to college Wi-Fi, plus your mobile phone has to be connected to college Wi-Fi, same Wi-Fi network. Otherwise, you can create a hotspot from your mobile phone, and your computer must be connected to the hotspot of your computer. Hotspot of your mobile phone. So in that case, mobile phone and the computer are using the same Wi-Fi network. And if this is true, in that case, you can operate your website in your mobile phone as well. This is number one thing. Number two thing, the hosting address is by default 127.0.0.1. Still it's local host, but in order to have the local host accessible across the another devices, or rest of the devices, the host address must be specified as host equals to 0.0.0.0, like this. And additionally, if you want to specify the port, you can uh, specify the port as well. So port equals to port number. If you want to specify, you can specify 5000, like this. So in this way, you should run your application, and as soon as it is changed, so currently it was, previously it was running HTTP 127.0.0.1.5000, and now it is running 0.0.0 colon 5000. Now both the addresses are basically same. Both the things 0.0.0 and 127.0.0.1 represent one and same thing, that is localhost. Both the things represent localhost only. But in this case, your local host or your server can be accessed through your mobile phone or any other device connected to same Wi-Fi network, or the same network, or in that network. If it is college Wi-Fi, and if you host your machine learning application in one PC or in one computer, in that case, if your college is having thousands of computers, it will be accessible to thousands of computers in that local network. Okay, so that's the meaning of it. So right now, if you put over here localhost colon 5000, it will definitely operate over here. Now you'll ask me how to open this in the mobile phone. So in order to open it in mobile phone, what you will have to do, you will have to open the cmd command prompt, and then you will have to type here ipconfig slash all, or anyway you can find out the ipad. So this is the command prompt, or the cmd command, that I'm telling you to find out the ip address of your computer. So after hitting, you will get the so many results over here, and inside that you will have to search for the wireless network, and inside that ipv4 address. Now you can see here, this is the complete details for wireless LAN adapter Wi-Fi. Okay, as it is connected to the Wi-Fi network. So wireless LAN adapter Wi-Fi, and then description of it, which driver and all the physical address. That means this is the MAC address ID of your computer, and this DSCP host and all those things. And here you see, here you see IPv address, or this is IP version Internet Protocol version 4 address, and this time it is 172.20.10.2. So that's the IP address of my computer. And if I open this IP address in my mobile phone, or in my mobile phone's browser, I will see my website running in my mobile phone as well, or I can access my website through my mobile phone. So right now, this is the IP address. This is the IP address of our system, 172.20.10.2. So additionally, so what you have to do in your mobile phone? So go into your mobile phone, open the browser, and just type 172, sorry, 172.20.10.2. Okay, colon 5000. Okay, don't forget this colon 5000, otherwise it will not work. 172.20.10.2 colon 5000. If you hit enter in your mobile phone, you will see your website will run in your mobile phone as well, or you will be able to open your website in your mobile phone as well. So I'm telling you 172.20.10.2. This is particularly, or it is limited to my PC only. Okay, it's not applicable to your computer, otherwise you will try to open this thing in your computer. So this is not going to happen, right? In your computer you will have to find out your own IP address. Now right now 172.20.10, it is my IP address, not yours. Okay, so in your computer it will be having a different IP address, and you just have to open that IP address, go into your mobile phone, open Google Chrome or any other browser you are having, and just put this IP address in your mobile phone or in your mobile phone's browser, and then just open it. You will find now it is opening there, and your website will be live in your mobile phone. Okay, so that's what you can try, number one thing. Now next is, as this particular thing is having only one web page. Our website is live and it is having only one web page. But I want to add number of pages, so I can add. So this is home page, and if I want to create a few more pages, then I can create like this @app.root. So whenever you will have to create a new page, you just create like this slash about us. So this is another page, and then def, you just give some name, about is the function name, and then you just type return here something. So return mm, uh, hi, you are now on about us page. Okay, write like this. You can write, or for example I need to add some another page called contact us. So here @app.root. So every time you will have to write @app.root only, and then slash contact. You can write anything, and then def, you just give a name to a function. This is contact, and inside this function you just write everything. So return, and then just for let's say you just give this a mobile number over here, mobile number, and this goes plus 91, and then here XXXXXXXX. So that's your mobile phone number, and that's it. Okay, so this is your website. Now our website is having three different routes: home page, about us page, contact us page, right? So now we can navigate in our website. So you may open like this, or you just put localhost colon 5000 and hit enter. So now it is showing not found, the URL not found, because there we haven't written anything for slash or only on that. So it's home page, about us, contact us, like that we are having, but there is nothing called localhost colon 5000 slash. Okay, so in that case you may have to mention at that app.root slash only, and then you should return something. But now we have written homepage, about us, and contact us. So in that case, you just have to write over here slash home. Okay, so whichever page you want, just go slash and that name. So hello, this is my website and you are on home page. Then about hi, you are now on about us page, right? Then contact, so mobile number. So on this we can make a communication or contact. So now our website is having multiple pages. Now you can have a website, and on the first page you can have the let's say the previous project that we have completed. It was the car sales prediction, right? So you can have multiple algorithms, 5 to 6 number of algorithms we tried. So on the first page you just show the results of SVM. On the second page you show the result of knn classifier, then the random forest classifier, decision tree, logistic regression, and naive bayes classifier. So you can have multiple pages, and on every page you can show different results. So what naive bayes is saying about how much accuracy you are getting on the naive bayes, and all those things you can actually try over there, and you can display over there. And basically you can actually have a calculator also. You just pass some values, and that results can be printed on this addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Okay, so we'll go in details of it, but right now let's assume this is how you can create the multiple pages to your web application or your website. Now interestingly, it is also possible to mention a variable in your application code or in the root. So if you consider a root, you can have a variable name in that root, and that variable can take different form, and that will be a dynamic thing. Okay, so that will be a dynamic thing. So for in order to show that, so I'll just delete this terminal, and I will be creating a new Python file, and I'll give name it as variable in root. Okay, or in the name of that root .py. So that will be new Python script. So I'll close this one, and now here again I will be loading from Flask, import Flask, right? And then app equals to Flask double underscore name double underscore, right? This is how the it will be initialized. And here I want to create a root. So at that app dot root, and here I need to give some home page, or let's say home slash, and here you can pass any variable. So in order to pass a variable, you should use this triangular brackets, and you just mention some variable name. So here just I'm giving a name to this. Now this is what I'm trying to tell you. So by using this kind of syntax, you will be able to write, or you will be able to create the root with some dynamic variable. And now I just give the home, and inside the home I should pass. Now previously if you compare this, there was no variable passed to the function. Now here I can return this one, return hello, and then this string concatenation, this name, it will be concatenated, and then at the end uh, if double underscore name equals to main. Okay, then you will have to run. So in this case app dot run, and here you mention the host equals to 0.0.0.0, and then you mention the port equals to 5000, and then you mention debug mode, debug equals to true, right? So everything you can do it right now, but this time it is now very much interesting to know. So if you see over here, now this is the home page only, but right now some variable will be passed to the home root, and once it is passed, like the slash something, so that will be passed to the home function. Previously, in the previous code, if you check it out, you will not find anything passed to the function or that function inside. So it was just about function, home function, and like that. But nothing was passed to the function. But this time, we are supposed to pass something to our main function or this particular function. So that's what we are going to do over here, or we are going to try over here. So we'll be passing something to our main function. Now, in order to do that, uh, what we can try over here. So in this particular case, if you see over here, this name is the variable which will be passed to this root, and this is dynamic variable, and this is right now it's in the variable name only, and that same variable is passed to the name or this particular function, and this is the name variable, and now this can take that variable and then it can perform whatever it want to perform. So it may be having the addition, subtraction, multiplication, whatever you can do, but here it is string concatenation, and now it will be running over here. And in this case, in the previous code, we are not having any argument to the function. So that's the thing in this case and in this case. Now let's run this and we'll check what happens if we write like this. And I think something is wrong, or there's something went wrong. So let's find where the problem is, and we'll try to figure it out, the problem. Okay, in the home slash name. So here is the problem. Okay, what is saying? Well, URLs must start with the uh, leading slash. Okay, that's the problem over here. So here is the problem basically. The URL must start with the leading slash. So slash I need to mention over here, slash home, right? Because in the previous case, slash home, slash about us, slash counter, like that. So that's not there. So that was the problem. And now we can run. Okay, so now it's successfully, our website is now hosted on the local host. And now let's go and just type localhost colon 5000. Now this time obviously it will show the page not found. Why? Because our page is home. So now home. Okay, so if I hit like this also, now still it will show the page is not found, because now I have to give some variable name, because you'll see that there is a home page, but it's not. It's home slash some name. That's the page. Now I should give some name also. So here, let's say slash Amol. And now you can see hello Amol. Okay. Now the same URL, but producing different result. Now let's say here I just pass something different. Let's say Geeta. So here it will be hello Geeta. Okay, now it will be completely dynamic result based on your URL. So the same route is used to have multiple things, and you can actually pass any number of names you want, and you can see the different result. Same URL is producing different result based on what data you pass to that particular thing. And this can be used. This is one approach which can be used to send a dynamic data to your website, or some kind of results to your website. So that's a different thing, but likewise it can be done. Okay, so that's very interesting thing. Now this is all about the URLs, or the, what we can say, the URLs that can be passed to the roots. Now we'll see how the URLs can be created in Python, or how we can build different URLs, and how we can redirect from one URL to another URL, or in other words, we'll see the dynamic URL binding, or the building of some URLs. So for that purpose, I'll be using the same structure, or in fact the same Flask website, but I'll be creating, or I'll just delete this and I'll create a new file, and here we will understand everything about the URL. So now this is the URLs: the home URL, about us, contact us. These are some URLs, and you can have some variables also, and in that case we can connect two different URLs to each other. Now Here I will be creating a new Python file, and this will be URL, let's say building.py. So that's the name to my file I'm giving over here. And here from Flask, import, first of all, Flask you need. And now as we are doing something different, so here redirect, that's what I'll be importing, and then URL for. Okay, so these three things I need for this practical to build the URL structure or complete directory. Now, for now, I'll be doing the library management kind of thing, or if there are number of users to our library, so how it will be operating. So that's what we can try over here. So now for that purpose, again here app equals to this Flask, and then double underscore name double underscore, that's what we need, and then at the rate app dot root. Now let's say first is the admin page. So first one is the admin, so this is the admin for your library, and then you just write over here def admin. Okay, the same name you need to write over here, and then you're just return, and you just write here something uh, hi, welcome admin. Okay, so we are welcoming the admin, and then you need some different URL. So this is app.root, and let's say here it's the URL for the uh, librarian. So here what you can write, so inside that again, let's say librarian, and this will be another function def librarian, and here you just write return function, and here write hi, welcome librarian. Okay, so now this is second page, and then we are having this at the rate app dot root, and the third is your student. Maybe the student is another user of your library, and then you just define the student over here, and then here you just write. So I'm just doing the basic things. We're not doing any kind of operations or not going to provide any kind of control. So hi, welcome student. Okay, so now this is how. Now you'll see this. Now the website is having different users, and based on that, their pages are different, quite different. But how to connect these URLs, or how to redirect from one URL to another URL, or how we can do, or how we can change the URL, or how to go from one URL. So how we can change the user in that thing. So for that purpose, we'll create one more URL. So add that app, not root, and this time it will be a user, right? And that user will have some name, and then here def user, and here the name will be passed. So now previous knowledge we will use here. Now you can check if this name is equals to admin. So now in that case we have to redirect to admin page. So here return, and here redirect. Here you should write URL for, and in the bracket admin. Now in this case you will be redirecting to URL for admin. So if it is admin, then it will redirect to URL for admin. So likewise it will be doing the redirect for any other. So let's say copy everything, You can use the elif also. If then elif this name equals to let's say librarian, and in that case it will be return redirect. Redirect means it will change to, or it will redirect to another URL. So URL for, and here you just give some name, let's say librarian, and then elif if the name equals to let's say student, and in this particular case it will be redirect return redirect. In this case it will be redirecting to the URL for student. Now keep in mind, always keep in mind, this admin librarian and student is not the slash wala part. This is the function name. Okay, this admin is this admin, this librarian is this librarian function name, and this student is the def student, this function name. It's not the student admin slash wala part, it's the function name that's you want to try. And otherwise else it can be returning something, or it will be see it can the, or it will type here return else wala part you can write over here else, and you can write here return. Here you can see user not found. Okay, so this user is not found. If you write something different over there, it will be printing this one. And now you need to run your uh, this one. So if the double underscore name equals to double underscore main double underscore, in that case only you will have to run your app. So app dot run, and here you can provide the previous other things, or I'll just copy these things instead of typing these things, host and all those things. I will copy. Okay, now this thing is important. Okay, I haven't discussed before, but right now see this is your if name equal to main, that means if this file is running from here, that means if this file is running on its own, then only this server will start, otherwise the server will not start. If this file is imported in some another file, in that case the server will not start, that means the app will not run. So app will run only when this file is running on its own and no other Python script is running this file. So generally this happens in functions, modules and packages that we have seen now. So where if I use the modules and packages, so we have seen how to import a different let's say calculator.py in our main code, and there we called the calculator file, and in that case we used to run a calculator or some functions from it from the main code. So in that case this file will not run. Okay, so the basic requirement is that this file should run on its own and no other python script should run this file. इसका मतलब है कि ये फाइल जो है वो यहाँ से ही रन करनी पड़ेगी. अगर इसको मैंने किसी लेट्स से बेसिक डॉट पी वाई में यहाँ पे मैंने लिखा कि import url building, तो जब मैं ऐसे इंपोर्ट करूँगा तो ऑब्वियसली ये फाइल पूरा इंपोर्ट होगी, मतलब वहाँ पे रन हो जाएगी. तो इन दैट केस ये रन नहीं होगा, ये this app will not run in that case. So basic requirement is that in order to run this file it should be running from this only. So यहाँ पे ही यहीं पे ही ये run होना ज़रूरी है. That's the basic requirement for this. Now let's run and we'll see what we get. So now it's running on this address, and now we will go over here and we'll type localhost 5000 URL not found हमें मिलना है. उसके बाद हमें चाहिए user, so in this case also not found, and then हमें यहाँ पे देना होगा कुछ तो नेम, let's say admin अगर हम देंगे यहाँ पे तो hi welcome admin. अगर यहाँ पे हम librarian देंगे, हाय वेलकम लाइब्रेरियन। और अगर हम यहाँ पे स्टूडेंट देंगे तो इट विल बी हाय वेलकम स्टूडेंट। ओके, परफेक्टली फाइन। नाउ अगर मैं यहाँ पे कुछ और देता हूँ कि लेट्स से अमोल, so in this particular case if I give amol, so this kind of url or no such thing, it's not found, the requested url was not found on the server. So in this case it's showing that this particular, oh sorry, it's amol only I have given. That's why it's the, well, it should be slash user slash amol. Okay, क्योंकि वैसे अमोल करके कोई यूआरएल है ही नहीं अपने यहाँ पे कि स्लैश अमोल, लेकिन स्लैश यूजर है। ओके, और उसके बाद कुछ ना कुछ तो नेम आना है। तो इन दिस केस इफ यू रन user not found, okay, अपना last वाला thing user not found, that's what it can print it out. So this is how the urls can be created, it can be built, and it can be redirected from one url to another url. Interconnectivity can be done, and from one page to another page we can move by using redirect. Okay, so redirect and url for, so this is the new thing we have learned, redirect and url for. So simply return some string or return redirect to url for, so that means it will redirect url for admin, so that means it will go to admin, and whatever is there that will be returned. Okay, that's how it is functioning. Now the main thing will begin. Now the main important thing is that whenever we see a website or whenever we talk about web applications, we are talking about, or we must talk, or we say HTML. Okay, so whenever the website is there, whenever any web application is there, we generally talk about the HTML coding. Sometimes CSS, sometimes JavaScripts can be used to style and to have some effects or interactive website. So HTML is the language which is used to create the website or the contents of the website. And the for example, any website, let's say if you consider the facebook.com, so when the facebook dot com or any other thing if you consider, so whatever content is there on that website, it is written in some page or in basically in some sort of some language, and that language is HTML. And now that HTML language or that particular thing or that HTML code, can we integrate that thing in our website as well? So definitely yes, because without HTML there cannot be any kind of website. So basically the HTML is all about the coding language which is used to create the websites or the web pages. So web pages are created in the HTML language. Now if you see the HTML, now can we write the HTML code in our web application, or can we create a HTML file or .html file, and can we integrate that thing to our code? So yes, definitely you can do that. Now first of all we'll see, can we use the HTML code itself in the Python code or in the .py file? So yes, we can use the internal HTML code. That means we can write some HTML coding in the Python code itself, and we can run it. So we'll see the whatever content is there in the HTML, so that will be displayed over there. And then we'll see, the next we'll see how we can create a separate .html file, and we can load the contents of that HTML file on our web application. And the HTML is used to create the content, or that is the, it will define the content of your website. But as the website may have some different colors, some styles and other stuff, so how it is defined? So the colors, styles and other things are actually defined by css file. And sometimes your website is very much interactive, that means you click on a button and then its colors are getting changed, so or pop-up message is generating. So web application or website is quite interactive in that case. So in order to make it interactive, JavaScripts are used. So that's the very basic things about the web development. So we're not going to go into that details, but just for your understanding, the HTML codes will be used to create the website or the content, or all the contents of your website will be written in HTML file. Then it's styling. That means colors, fonts, size, shape. That will be defined by CSS file. That means the style sheet. And its interactivity. That means clicking some button, it is popping off some message or changing the color of something. So as you move the mouse, the colors are changing in that area. Some interaction or the interactive things are done in JavaScripts. Okay, so that's the thing. So right now we'll be seeing how the HTML code can be integrated to our Python script, and then we will see how the separate HTML file can be used to create the HTML page or the web page. Now, right now, whatever web page we are having, this web page is completely blank page, only some string is getting printed over here. But this web page can be designed, the structure of it and everything can be designed in HTML, and that HTML can be linked to our Python code. So that's the thing we are going to see. Now, first of all, I'll be creating one file, and that name I will give this HTML codes py. And here again I will be loading this from Flask, import Flask, and then app equals to Flask, and then just give double underscore name, double underscore, that's it. And then at the rate app dot root, and here some root I need to generate. So I'll just create no root or just blank, so that localhost 5000 will open that thing. And def message, uh, basic thing I want to create over here, and then return. And now here you can type the HTML code. Now to type the HTML code, let's say I use this HTML, and then let's say body of this, and then let's say header I use header 1 h1, and then type some message over here. So let's hi, welcome to my website. Then and then of course this h1 will close. Okay, this is the closing tag. So that's not the difficult thing, it's very basic things that I'm trying over here. And then slash this body will close, right? And then this HTML tag has to close. So it's just a text that we are printing over here. So in order to separate it, so I can like this. So this how not only the basic things, but you can actually try this thing also. And now you'll see, as this is HTML, and what if I use this as it is, or let's say I'll create a one more root, test root, let's say without HTML, at the rate app dot root, and here slash test, let's say testing root, and then here def test, and here return. Same thing I'll print over here, hi, but you will notice the difference. Welcome to my website. Okay, now both the things are doing the same thing, but using HTML code, what happens, and without using the HTML code, what happens. So that's what we are going to try. Then colon, and then here app dot run, and of course the internal part, I will copy this thing. Okay, so now let's run it. Now it has run successfully, And now if you go here, localhost colon 5000, hit enter. Now you see here, hi, welcome to my website. Now this is the interesting thing which is happening over here. But without this HTML code, if you go over here and type here test, then you see the same message but a normal text, normal with default fonts and all this. As we are using this as a header tag h1, if you go over here with h2, and again the h2 will close over here, so header will be different. So this is all about the HTML tags. You are already familiar with that, and in that case if you hit enter, so it's quite a little smaller than the previous one as it is header 2. Okay, if you go with header 1, it will be definitely having the different font and scale. Okay, so this how the HTMLs can be integrated, or some HTML coding can be attached, or it can be added inside the Python script itself. But adding the HTML code inside the Python, it's not a good option. Secondly, it's going to make your code complicated and not easy to learn or easy to understand. So if you see here the HTML and how it can be, or how you will read this, so it's completely unreadable. This code is completely not readable as far as the HTML thing is concerned. So what we can do, we can create a new Python file, and there we'll discuss how we can connect the external HTML code to our Python. So right now I'm going to see how the external HTML file can be connected. So that means external HTML. Okay, so that's what we are going to see. So for that, I'll close this one, and now I'll create a new Python script, and here I'll just give some external HTML dot py. Okay, so now here again one more time I'll be doing the same thing. So in order to save time, I will copy this everything and I'll paste here, and I don't need this root now, and again I don't need this one because this HTML I don't need. Now how the things can be done, so here you need to mention from Flask import Flask plus render template, this thing, and then here you should write return render template and the HTML file you just mentioned over here. So you just message dot html, so that's the file I want to render, or I want to display this HTML page. Now at this moment, if you run, you see some error will appear. Now if you run over here like this, and if you put localhost colon 5000, it will show this error that message.html not found. And it's very obvious. Why? Because the message, this template or this HTML file is obviously not present in our folder. So it's not there. Now, what you can do, you can create, or how to create a HTML file, or where to store the HTML file. You cannot simply put this HTML file in the current directory and you can operate. So you'll, for that you need to create a folder, separate folder, and just give name to that folder templates. Okay, its name has to be templates. Inside template folder, create a file message.html. Hit enter. Okay, got it. So the it's a template folder. If you see the template folder, or otherwise in this I will show you. So these are the codes we tried right now, and now I have created this template file, and message.html is now currently empty file like this. So this template folder will be there in the same folder as that of the Python code, that is this which is external html.py, and inside the template folder your HTML files or the document has to be there. Now the templates.html, this file, or on this particular file, and this we are going to see how to write some code inside it. Now the same code that we have written there, the same code we can write over here. So here we can, okay, it's should be here HTML, and this is your HTML tag, and as soon as you do like this, it will automatically create your closing tag. And then you can, if you want, you can write a head also, and that you can mention something for the inside the head. So it could be a title also, the title tag, and the title can be, let's say, message. right? It could be a title of it, and then it can be a body, and inside the body you can have the h1 tag. Let's say this is h1 header, and okay, you can actually write some message here, and the message can be hi, welcome to my website. Like this you can try, and everything will now complete. Okay, now everything is fine. Okay, now the everything is fine, everything is functioning nicely. So now the HTML is saved, and now this file, okay, now the previously it was showing this is not found, but right now the HTML file has been loaded, and this has loaded this external HTML message.html, and that is now rendered template. So it's using a render template. So what we have seen the basic return function, then we have seen the redirect, then URL for we have seen, and now third thing we have seen, that is render template. So now you can put so many HTML documents over here, so many HTML that you have designed previously, and now you will be able to see, you will be able to load the different HTML files on different routes. And obviously it will also work on your mobile phone, and the method how to get it operated on your mobile phone we have already discussed. So you just do experimentation with this. Also I will upload all these codes in the drive folder, so you can check it out, the drive folder as well. So I'll be uploading all these codes in that folder, which is shared with you, and the recording of this video will be uploaded on the YouTube playlist. So for now, that's the end for today's session, but we will wait in the chat. If you're having any queries and doubt, you can put in the chat before we close this session.